Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the garage, and welcome back from Virginia Motorsports Park. So this weekend was the third ODSS race of the season, the Hollyrock Customs race at Virginia Motorsports Park. And to say we struggled is putting it lightly. So we had some struggles with the truck from even before we left the garage to go down there and the whole time we were there. So I want to kind of recap everything. With everything going on, I didn't pick up the camera at all at the park. Got some video of the truck running, and pretty much that's about it. Like I said, we had some struggles, so the camera was the least of my concerns. So starting off where we left off with the videos, I didn't film any of the stuff that I'm about to show you because, well, we got just slammed at work. So coming home and having an hour or so to work on the truck before hitting bed and then going back to work, really picking up the camera was not conductive getting work done. So I'll try and breeze through this real quick and we'll get into what happened this weekend. So in our last video, we had cut an additional 25 pounds out of the truck by cutting off this rear section of frame. So we cut it all off, tubed it out, and then we are going to remount our bed sides. So we are switching our bed sides up from these quick latches to these Zeus fittings. As you can see, I have a couple over here. Those are the only two I got in. And then, like I said, kind of got slammed at work and just kind of mounted everything as quickly and cleanly as I could. I mean, this tube here is smaller than this tube here. Reused the tubes over here for our quick latches and just made little stub pieces, that kind of thing. So got that all to work. Didn't have enough tube to kind of make a cross piece back here, so I made this little parachute mount and just welded a piece of tube in, welded the bracketry and all for the parachute mount and the parachute tie off to that. It does have a little spring to it. I definitely think it would still work, and I don't know, might leave it. I haven't decided. But that was a big thing of trying to get this truck ready to go, was remounting the bed sides. Like I said, kind of did that all Thursday before we left. The other thing was we moved our nitrous bottle inside the cab here, which presented some issues in plumbing. And unfortunately, our shipment for the new things we were going to be using for our nitrous got delayed a day. It's supposed to be here Thursday, which wasn't going to be a big deal. It's all kind of bolt-on stuff, but we had to improvise, such as this fitting that I had to weld up and make to take this thing from a -AN or a -8AN and go into our solenoid there for our spool jet. So I had to make that up, and also we had ordered a new nozzle for our nitrous that actually made, it was two nozzles in one, so we could have just threaded that in here and had our two lines going, because we are now going to be using our Lightning 375 that we had from the dyno. As you can see, you know, hoses are a little long and stuff like that. So had to pull that off, weld another bung in there, so on and so forth. So had some issues in that department. We departed later than expected, but everything was good. The back of the Ford was 100% loaded up. See, because now we have a spare Muldoon's transmission, so we made sure to take that, our converter, trans jack, all that. Like I said, that short bed Ford was filled to the brim. So yeah, got to Virginia, went to the track on Friday, and I mentioned that we brought our spare transmission, and it was a good thing, because when we got everything set up at the track, got the truck warmed up, we spooled the truck up to make sure everything was good. It started to come up on boost, and then the RPMs just went to the moon. So our transmission was cooked. The RPMs went to the moon, and our little catch bottle we have in the cab of the truck filled with smoke instantly. So had to pull the transmission. Honestly, it was my fault. So one time here at the house, I was spooling the truck up just to check some things out, and I accidentally hit it from manual 1 to manual 2 on a shifter. So basically what I did was I spooled the truck up, and I had my hand here and just went like that, and the truck made a noise. It didn't sound good, but I kind of like looked over everything once, and then I spooled the truck up again, and the truck spooled up. It held. and all right, good to go. So whatever we did definitely hurt something, but I was under the impression that everything was okay because it still seemed to run through the gears. I put it on jack stands, everything went through, we had lockup, all that. But obviously once we put it on, I guess, a little harsher load there at Virginia, it was just too much for it. So we changed that out on Friday. Luckily we were there at like about 2 o'clock when we started doing that. Got it done a little before qualifying was supposed to start at 7. With big help from Evan from Dirty Hooker Diesel and Charles. Charles is the announcer. He announced UCC, and I believe he's doing all the ODSS events. They came over to just kind of chit-chat and catch up, and they saw what was going on, and they didn't even ask me if I needed help or anything like that. They just climbed under the truck and started giving us a hand, helping us pull the transmission and get the new one in there, which was awesome. Really appreciate it. You know, just everybody at these ODSS races is like that. It's just a fantastic group of people. But yeah, Evan and Charles helped us out with the transmission, which was killer. But we had everything in. I backed the truck up, got it spooled up. I spooled it up enough that it was pushing through our brakes, because looking at the weather, we didn't have time to really warm our brakes up. And yeah, as soon as we got this thing back to the canopy, to the pit, it started downpouring, and they canceled qualifying on Friday night. So, you know, our departure and our first day at Virginia Motorsports Park didn't turn out too well, but I was hoping all the bad juju was kind of out of the truck. And going on to Saturday, we were going to have 2 rounds of qualifying, and then we were going to get into elimination. So went up to make our first qualifying pass. When we got there, actually, let me step back. When we got to the track, it was raining, so qualifying got pushed from like 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for them to dry out the track. So we went up for Q1, brought the truck in. I drove straight through the water box because I didn't see any water there. I didn't have anybody lining me up. I didn't ask anybody, which was a mistake. I believe there was still some water in the water box. I'm not 100% sure, but spooled the truck up, and it started to push through the brakes a little, and I just let her go, and the truck just spun, got all out of sorts. I putted down the track. So, all right, you know, we'll go hit it hard. You know, I was figuring I ran through some water, but some guys behind me said that they saw some water come out of the frame. But I couldn't find any hints of that, so I'm not 100% sure of that. But either way, we spun, kind of a bad, you know, we didn't get a pass in, and we weren't the only ones having issues. It seemed like about half of the Pro Street guys were having some issues putting down power, other than Johnny Gilbert, who was, I think he ran the fastest pass Pro Street has ever seen, which was like 157 mile an hour, which is awesome. But the RLC guys kicked the tires. The Dirty Hooker Diesel guys had some issues. So went back up for Q2, had Trent Owens. He came over to me. He's Melting Pistons on YouTube and Instagram. Really nice dude. Go check his channel and his Instagram out. But he came up to me and said, "Hey, I noticed you didn't have anybody, you know, getting you through the water and all that. You want me to help line you up and clean your tires?" I said, "Oh, absolutely." So Q2, he did that, cleaned the tires off, got us straight in the lane. There was no water in the water box, so we rolled right through. Came up to the line, started to spool the truck up, and it just started walking through the brakes. And I was pushing as hard as I could on the brake pedal. You watch it, the truck really starts coming up on boost, and then it starts creeping. So just let off the brake and gave her the beans, and instantly the tires just spun.
garage. Largely a one-man show. Turpentine for us.
So I got out of it, and then I got right back in it so we could try and put some sort of a number down because, like I said, a lot of the guys were seeming to have issues, so figured maybe we could still qualify okay. So if that people having issues continued on. So that's kind of where we at. We had 2 bad qualifying passes. RLC, the guys from RLC also on their second pass, they did a fantastic job. They ran like a 5:11 in the 8th, which is their fastest 8th mile time, which is awesome. So the track wasn't bad. We were just having our own little set of issues. So went back to the pits and, you know, kind of was hemming and hawing. Well, got talking to Cody Fisher from Firepunk. He was going to come line us up, get us close to the bulbs for the first round of eliminations, but I got talking to him about what it was doing, pushing through the brakes, and he said, are you heating, asked if I was heating the brakes up on the way up, which I was, just dragged the brakes a little bit to warm them up. But also he was saying about deglazing the brakes. So I guess these brakes with the compounds that TBM uses and all, they tend to get like a little bit of a glaze over on the rotor. So you need to scuff them up like before each race weekend. It's not something we've done before, so we've been lucky and haven't had any issues like UCC when we were in Maryland at Rudy's, all that. So he went over and we, got some tools from the Firepunk pit and we scuffed up the front brake rotors real quick. So I was really feeling confident about about eliminations 1 because with putting down a little bit of a pass and the Dirty Hooker diesel guys were having some struggles. We were going to be in eliminations 1 against a Tameless performance truck. Really don't know much about it other than it's a good-looking second gen. But I think they ran like a mid-5 pass, so it would have been a good race for us. If the truck was able to hold back, we could actually launch the truck how we want. Because I think that was the problem. We were leaving under so little power that we weren't slamming that rear tire and really getting it to hook. So I was really feeling confident for eliminations that we figured out our issues and finally had the truck all sorted out. Well, the rain came again, and that was the end of the weekend, which sucked. So, yeah, we had some issues. We fought through it. Hopefully we now have them solved. We'll definitely do some testing here in the garage or in the driveway with some spool up. That's the other thing. Our converter is a little different for the other transmission. It was from the old setup when this thing was a street truck. I've been told that the converter stall should be all right for our setup, but we don't know 100%. It might be a little tighter, it might be a little looser. I don't know. It's just 2 different manufacturers of converters. They do stuff a little bit different ways. So, yeah, we got to get our Gucci transmission, as I call it. We got to get the guys at Muldoon's to run through that because I screwed up, which sucks because I really wanted to see how much time we could get on the thing since UCC and all that. But anyway, we learned. We got to hang out with some great people, meet some great new people at the ODSS race, and hopefully we can do better at Rocky Top here next month and put down some good passes and get some good racing in. And talking about the people at the ODSS races, so right now, my rear tire's flat. We need to do something with our wheel and tire setup, whether we get some tubes in these things or what. So I pumped this up yesterday when I was offloading it off the trailer because it had gone flat on the ride home. At least flat enough I wasn't comfortable backing off the trailer. You see its current shape. Somebody at the ODSS race sent me a picture of a flat tire we had on Friday night after all of our issues. I'm there. I was either at the hotel or I was eating dinner. Sent us a picture. We had a flat tire. So I just kind of put a message out there to a group of people and said, hey, got a flat. Is there anybody at the track staying there that could take care of this for us? And Nathan Nathan stepped up and went over right away, took a jack over, put a jack stand under it for the evening, so that way we didn't have some other issues to contend with in the morning. So we're gonna have to take care of that as well. So yeah, it was a frustrating weekend, but you'll have that. You know, we had some issues and we worked through them. Hopefully our brake issue is solved. Like I said, we will do some testing here at the house to make sure that we can get up on top of that converter and really get the thing up on boost without pushing through the brakes and all that. So another thing, a big shout out to the guys at Hot Shot Secret. So the guys at Hot Shot Secret, actually, they sponsor our Pro Street class. That's why we have these Hot Shot Secret sticker on the truck. So got talking to those guys because we are now running this synthetic diesel fuel called Torque DX. This stuff makes a little bit more power than pump diesel, but the other thing is consistency. So going to different places in the country and even different fuel stations, you'll get different levels of fuel. Running this stuff, we have consistent fuel. We know it's always the same, but we're also eliminating the factor of bad fuel. So that's why we're running this. And the guys at Hot Shot Secret, I was asking them about it, and they said the lubricity of this stuff is not the best. It's actually like as cetane value goes up, lubricity drops. So they recommended their LX4 for the Torque DX, and Kyle from Hot Shot Secret actually ran off and gave me some from their booth just so I could get through the weekend. So big shout out to them. And Kyle also hooked us up with some of their EDT treatment, their everyday diesel fuel treatment. I actually run the EDT in the F350. I run it through every tank, unless I forget, obviously. But we had ran out of EDT on the way down there, so Kyle hooked us up. I use that because this thing has a CP4 pump, and everybody knows that a CP4 pump is prone to failure, and when it fails, it takes out the entire fuel system. So I run the EDT to hopefully get more life out of our CP4, and hopefully we don't have any of those issues, because the design of the CP4 pump, it's like metal on metal, and it's just a bad design. So I run that fuel additive personally. So I just, you know, it's nice to have a little more protection for those parts. Should I have on a 350 one of the like S&S diesel filter kits for the fuel system? Absolutely, but just haven't gotten that far yet. So I run the EDT to help protect against that. But big shout out to those guys. They really support this diesel racing that everybody's doing. They support the events. They got running their own little race series out west, supporting the racers. Just a great group of guys, and supporting our class Pro Street, which I think is awesome. So anyway, guys, I know this has been a bit long-winded of a video. I hope you understand the lack of actual footage from the track. We had some struggles. I'm there to race. You know, making a video for you guys is definitely on the priority list, but honestly, unless everything is going smoothly and just kind of going perfectly, I kind of forget about the camera, because we want to learn about the truck, race the truck, and get better at doing this, and just keep using this thing to its fullest potential. So anyway, guys, like I said, sorry for the long-winded video, but I hope you enjoyed. Please like the video, subscribe down below. Catch you guys on the next one. Get out in your garage, get the wrenching on your truck.